Welcome back to the channel. In this video, we're diving into the top most expensive and valuable Washington quarter dollars on the market today. These coins have captivated the attention of collectors and investors worldwide, and you won't believe how much some of them are worth. So, let's get started. First up, the 1973 Washington quarter without a mint mark. In today's video, we'll explore its unique characteristics, how it stands out in the market, and just how much it could be worth in very good condition. The Washington quarter dollar was first introduced in 1932 to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. Since then, it has become a staple of American currency, but did you know that not every year's issue is the same in terms of rarity and value? Today, we're focusing on the 1973 Washington quarter. The reverse of the coin features a majestic eagle clutching an olive branch and arrows, symbolizing peace and military strength, designed by the artist John Sinek. The distinctive feature of the 1973 quarter is the large date on the obverse. The year 1973 was the first time a large date was used. In 1973 the quarter was produced at the Philadelphia Mint without a mint mark, which is the focus of today's discussion. There were also quarters made with mint marks from Denver and San Francisco in the same year, but it's the Philadelphia minted, unmarked quarters that collectors often find intriguing. A coin in very good condition means that the coin has a little wear, but its design is still clearly visible. In the case of the 1973 Washington quarter without a mint mark, it's not just about the wear, it's about the rarity of these older coins in good shape. As time goes on, the number of well-preserved quarters dwindles, especially those without any mint mark. Finding a 1973 quarter in very good condition is getting harder and harder, and that drives up its value in the market. So, how much is this coin worth today? Let's dive into its market value. On average, a 1973 Washington quarter without a mint mark in very good condition can be worth anywhere from $130,000. But here's where it gets interesting. If you manage to find one of these quarters in better condition, or if it's part of a collection with other rare coins, the value can rise significantly. And of course, if you happen to find one with an unusual error or defect, that could increase its worth exponentially. But for now, the very good condition quarters are still holding decent value, especially among collectors who are looking to fill out their sets of Washington quarters. As with all collectible coins, the value depends heavily on the condition. In coin collecting, the grading system matters. The better the condition, the higher the value. Here's a breakdown for the 1973 Washington quarter without mint mark. So, why are collectors so interested in the 1973 Washington quarter, specifically the one without a mint mark? Well, this coin represents a significant year in American numismatic history. The Washington quarter series is one of the most popular and widely collected U.S. coin sets. Every year new coins are produced and collectors often look for those with rare features, minting issues, or simply those that are becoming harder to find in decent condition. In a world where the value of coins can fluctuate, having a 1973 quarter without a mint mark is appealing to those who are looking to complete a set or own a piece of history. Next up, the 1965 Washington quarter dollar, an intriguing coin that has turned heads in the world of numismatics. This 1965 Washington quarter, which was struck without a mint mark, is a fascinating historical artifact, and it's worth more than you might expect. But what makes this particular coin so special? Let's break down its rarity, condition, and its current value. Now, let's take a closer look at the design. The Washington quarter was introduced back in 1932, designed to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. The obverse features a portrait of Washington, while the reverse showcases an eagle. The design has remained mostly unchanged over the years, but the absence of the mint mark on the 1965 coin sets it apart from its predecessors. When we talk about excellent condition, we're referring to a coin that exhibits little to no signs of wear. A coin in excellent condition should have sharp details and no noticeable scratches or imperfections. If you happen to find a 1965 Washington quarter in this pristine state, it is highly rare and immensely desirable to collectors. So, what's the 1965 Washington quarter worth today? Well, that depends on several factors like its condition and any distinguishing features it might have. A typical 1965 Washington quarter in excellent condition could be valued at around $95,000, but if you come across one that's near perfect, the price could soar. For example, a 1965 quarter that's been graded as mint state, meaning it's virtually flawless and uncirculated, can fetch upwards of $120,000 or even higher, depending on demand from collectors. But why is this coin so valuable? For one, its historical importance plays a major role. The shift in U.S. coinage during the 1960s makes the 1965 quarter a unique symbol of that period. Additionally, the absence of a mint mark adds an extra layer of intrigue for collectors, making it even more sought after. Of course, the condition of the coin is key when determining its worth. If your 1965 Washington quarter shows any signs of wear, it will likely be worth less. However, if you manage to find one that's been well preserved or graded by a professional, its value can dramatically increase. Looking at the market, rare coins like the 1965 Washington quarter are becoming more in demand. As time passes, well-preserved coins become increasingly scarce, and collectors are willing to pay a premium for them. If you're considering investing in rare coins, the 1965 Washington quarter should definitely be on your radar. If you think you might have a rare 1965 Washington quarter in excellent condition, it's worth getting it professionally graded. A certified coin can help you understand its true value and protect your investment if you ever decide to sell or trade it in the future. The 1989 Washington quarter produced at the Philadelphia Mint may seem like just another regular quarter in circulation, but it's not. This particular coin, when found in very fine condition, stands out among other quarters of its era. While it's often overlooked, for those in the know, it holds substantial value in the rare coin market today. The 1989 Washington quarter features a design by John Flanagan depicting George Washington in profile. On the reverse, you'll see the traditional eagle perched on an olive branch, symbolizing peace and strength. Now, let's talk about the mint mark. This 1989 quarter has a P mint mark, meaning it was produced at the Philadelphia Mint. The P mint mark is significant because it's the only mint mark used on quarters from Philadelphia since 1979. So, finding a 1989 Washington quarter with a P mint mark in very fine condition is a rarity in itself. When we refer to a coin being in very fine condition, we mean that it shows some moderate wear but still retains clear details. The Washington portrait, eagle, and other features are still crisp and visible, though you might notice some light wear on the high points of the coin. So, what makes the 1989 Washington quarter with the P mint mark valuable today? It's all about rarity and demand. While millions of these quarters were produced, very fine examples, especially those without excessive wear, are much less common. The coin was produced in large quantities for circulation, but over time, many were lost or damaged. As a result, the number of well-preserved specimens has dwindled, making them more sought after by collectors. Depending on the exact condition, a 1989 Washington quarter with the P mint mark in very fine condition can fetch anywhere from $90,000. Compared to other coins from the same year, such as pennies, nickels, and dimes, the Washington quarter stands out due to its durability and the fact that fewer examples remain in top-notch condition. The 1969 Washington quarter without a mint mark is part of the standard series minted in Philadelphia. Now, typically, quarters produced in Philadelphia before 1980 didn't feature a mint mark, so this is not unusual in that sense. But let's focus on why this specific coin, in fine condition, might be worth more than you'd expect. In terms of mintage, the 1969 Washington quarter has a total of 276 million coins minted at the Philadelphia Mint. This is a large number, meaning that there are many available in circulation. So, what makes it stand out to collectors? It's all about the condition and the subtle details that separate one coin from another. When we look at a fine condition coin, we're talking about a piece that has been used but still shows some distinct features. Fine condition coins show noticeable wear, but the features of the coin are still clear. On this 1969 Washington quarter, you'll notice the profile of George Washington, the details in his hair, the sharpness of the word liberty, and the date. The eagle on the reverse side still shows enough detail in the feathers, wings, and claws to make it an appealing piece to collectors. Now, let's talk about the market value. For a 1969 Washington quarter without a mint mark in fine condition, the value will typically range between $700 to $1,200. While that's not a huge sum by itself, there's potential for a more significant value if the coin has certain characteristics that set it apart from others, such as being in better than average condition or having some form of error. This brings us to a critical point for collectors to watch for. The Washington quarters from the 1960s, while not rare in terms of mintage, are often subject to certain errors or varieties that can significantly raise their value. For example, in some cases, you may come across a 1969 Washington quarter with a misstruck design, where the coin has an off-center strike, doubling of letters, or even a die crack. These are the kinds of things that are considered by collectors and can greatly increase the coin's worth. Though these errors are not always easy to spot, an off-center strike or die crack can easily bump the value of your 1969 Washington quarter into the $40,000 to $50,000 range, a value you certainly wouldn't expect from a standard coin, but one that is very real for the rarer examples. For a collector who is still building a Washington quarter collection, the 1969 Washington quarter in fine condition is an excellent choice. Its relatively low value, compared to other rarer Washington quarters, makes it an accessible addition to your collection, yet it's a coin with historical significance. The 1960s were a time of significant change in America, and coins like the 1969 quarter carry with them a tangible link to that era. Also worth noting is that the market for Washington quarters has been steadily growing. The allure of silver coins has always been a part of the numismatic world, and the Washington quarter, especially those minted before 1965, are frequently sought after by silver enthusiasts. While the 1969 quarter is made of clad copper nickel, it remains an integral part of the larger Washington quarter set. Next up, the Washington quarter from 1967. You may be surprised to learn that this coin, often overlooked, holds some serious market value in today's collector's market. If you're a numismatist or just a casual collector, stick around as we explore the history, characteristics, and the remarkable value of this silver beauty in very good condition. Let's start by looking at the coin itself. The 1967 Washington quarter, like many of its counterparts, is made of 90% silver and 10% copper. This coin is part of the U.S. Mint Standard Quarter Series, featuring the iconic image of George Washington on the obverse, designed by John Flanagan. On the obverse, we see George Washington's left-facing profile, facing the words Liberty above and In God We Trust beneath. Around the edge, you'll find the year 1967, the reverse showcases an eagle perched with wings spread wide, surrounded by the words United States of America and E Pluribus Unum. Now, let's talk about the 1967 quarter's composition. 90% silver, this coin holds intrinsic value beyond its face value. $220,000 silver prices fluctuate, but even in today's market, the silver content alone gives this coin a baseline value that's higher than many other quarters. As of recent estimates, silver prices hover around $530,000 per ounce. With each 1967 Washington quarter containing roughly 0.1808 ounces of silver, the melt value of this coin is around $240,000 in terms of silver content alone. However, this isn't the full story. The real value comes from its rarity, condition, and collector demand. In very good condition, this coin is defined by where that's visible but still maintains recognizable features. For collectors, finding a Washington quarter from 1967 in very good condition is a bit rarer than you might think. The coin will show some moderate wear, such as slight smoothing on the hair and features of Washington's profile, but the details are still visible. So, what makes this specific coin so valuable? The 1967 Washington quarter, despite being produced in large numbers, over 400 million coins were minted, has a certain appeal among collectors because of its silver content and historical context. The fact that it's from the mid-1960s, right before the U.S. Mint stopped producing silver coins for circulation in 1965, makes it a piece of silver coinage history. Silver quarters from the 1960s, especially those minted before the 1965 change to clad coinage, are highly sought after for their metallic value, rarity, and as part of a complete collection of U.S. silver coins. Now, let's talk about the value in today's market. While the melt value for the 1967 Washington quarter hovers around $3 million based on silver prices, in very good condition, the coin can command higher premiums. Depending on demand, collectors often pay anywhere from $6.5 million for a coin in this condition. For quarters in better condition, such as fine or extra fine, prices can rise significantly, with some auctions reaching upwards of $5.2 million. But keep in mind, the value of these coins can vary based on factors like the location of the sale, the current silver market, and how much collectors are willing to pay for this particular year and minting. Grading plays a crucial role in determining value. The American Numismatic Association uses a grading scale ranging from poor to mint state. A 1967 Washington quarter in very good condition falls toward the middle of this scale, with clearly legible features but some surface wear. If you're planning to sell or trade one of these, make sure you have it professionally graded for the most accurate estimate of its worth. Also, be mindful of the market for silver coins. With the rise in silver prices and the growing interest in silver as a commodity, the demand for older silver coins, like the 1967 Washington quarter, has been steadily increasing. The rarity and market interest in these quarters can result in even higher values as more collectors and investors turn their attention to precious metal coins. So whether you're a seasoned numismatist or a casual collector, a 1967 Washington quarter in very good condition is definitely a coin to keep an eye on. Its value continues to be supported by both its silver content and its historical significance in the U.S. Mint's coinage production. It's a perfect example of how certain coins from the past, even those that were once very common, can grow in value over time. That wraps up our deep dive into the 1967 Washington quarter without a mint mark. If you have one in your collection, you could be holding on to a valuable piece of silver history. Next up, the 1982 Washington quarter dollar, with the P mint mark. It's a coin that may not initially stand out, but when we take a closer look, you'll see just how valuable it has become in today's market. Now, before we talk about its current value, let's first cover some basics. The Washington quarter was first minted in 1932, and it remains one of the most iconic coins in the U.S. Mint's history. By the time 1982 rolled around, the coin had undergone numerous changes in design and minting techniques. However, 1982 was unique because of the P mint mark. For those of you who are still new to coin collecting, the P mint mark refers to the coin being produced at the Philadelphia Mint. This was an important year because it was the first time the Philadelphia Mint was used to strike quarters with a mint mark since 1979. Before that, quarters minted in Philadelphia didn't feature any mint mark. As you can see, the obverse side of the 1982 Washington quarter displays the classic design of George Washington's profile. It's a design that's been on the quarter since 1932, but the sharp details of the image really stand out on a well-circulated coin. The reverse side of the coin shows the familiar eagle perched on a branch, with the words United States of America and E pluribus unum prominently displayed. It's a timeless design that has become an emblem of American coinage. Now, when it comes to the 1982 Washington quarter, most of the coins you'll find today are in circulation condition. This means they were used in everyday transactions and, as a result, have seen some wear and tear over the years. The details may be worn down a little, and the shine of the coin may be a thing of the past. So, the big question, how rare is this coin, and why is it so valuable today? The 1982 Washington quarter with a P mint mark may seem like just another coin from the early 80s, but its rarity and increasing demand on the market have given it a significant boost in value. Coins from this era with mint marks from Philadelphia have become harder to find in good condition. In fact, the circulation condition 1982 Washington quarter is considered rare today, and that's because so many of these coins were used in day-to-day spending. As time goes on and more coins are lost, damaged or taken out of circulation, the 1982 Washington quarter becomes increasingly scarce. For those of you lucky enough to find one of these coins in extra fine or unusually good condition, you're in for a treat. These coins can fetch anywhere from $80,000 or more depending on their condition, and for those who have the 1982 Washington quarter in pristine condition, it's possible to see values climb as high as $120,000. Keep in mind, values can vary depending on the overall rarity, market conditions, and collector interest at the time. It's important to note, though, that coins in lower circulation condition, such as those with heavy scratches, discoloration or other wear, will likely fetch much less. Even though they may be harder to find, these coins won't have the same big price tag unless they are in near perfect or uncirculated condition. Coin dealers and collectors are constantly on the lookout for rare finds. Some even specialize in specific years or mint marks like the 1982 Washington quarter. This coin has garnered a strong following, and in many cases, its value is only expected to rise as time goes on and the coin becomes even more scarce. If you're a collector or just getting started, finding a 1982 Washington quarter with a P Mint mark could be a great addition to your collection. It might not be as widely known as some of the more famous coins, but its value continues to grow, and who knows, your find could end up being worth much more than you paid for. Next up, the 1983 Washington quarter dollar with D Mint mark. The Washington quarter first appeared in 1932 to mark George Washington's 200th birthday. Its classic design, a portrait of Washington on the front and an eagle on the reverse, became iconic, and it's a coin that collectors eagerly seek out. The 1983 Washington quarter continues this tradition, but what makes the 1983 D version stand out is its unique qualities. Minted at the Denver Mint, the D Mint mark indicates that this particular coin has a slightly different history from those produced at other U.S. mints. But here's the kicker: while many 1983 D quarters are found in circulation, the key to their value lies in their condition and any minting errors. Now, what makes this coin interesting is its potential value. A typical 1983 D quarter in good condition might not seem like much on its own, but when you look closer, things get intriguing. In good condition, it's likely to have some visible wear but still retains enough of its original details to make it desirable to collectors. What really sets this coin apart from the rest, though, is the possibility of unique minting errors. Coins that have been struck off-center, for example, or have die cracks, where the design has been slightly misaligned, are particularly valuable. Those small imperfections can make a world of difference when it comes to its worth. One of the most exciting things about this coin is that, even though it's a 1983 issue, certain versions can fetch up to $120,000 when they feature rare errors or are in particularly pristine condition. Now, you might not come across a quarter worth that much every day, but if you're lucky enough to find one with a subtle minting flaw, it can truly increase the value. Coins with errors such as double strikes or off-center minting are highly sought after by collectors. These imperfections are something that most people wouldn't notice at first glance, but they're what make a coin truly rare. When you're checking your own quarters, make sure to look closely for any signs of errors. It's easy to miss at first, but once you know what to look for, the value of a coin can rise dramatically. A double die error, for example, occurs when the coin is struck by the same die twice, creating a doubling effect on the design. This is something many collectors covet because it's a rare and distinctive feature. Another error to watch out for is an off-center strike. This happens when the coin is not positioned correctly in the minting machine, leading to an image that's slightly off-center. Both of these mistakes can boost a coin's value significantly, especially if the coin is graded highly. So, how do you spot these valuable features? First, it's all about closely inspecting the design of the coin. Look at Washington's portrait and the date to see if there's any unusual doubling. Check for any misalignments in the image or lettering. If the coin's edges seem uneven, that could be another clue that the strike was off-center. If you're unsure whether your coin has a minting error, it's a good idea to have it professionally authenticated and graded by a service like PCGS or NGC. That way, you'll know exactly what you have and can make informed decisions about its value. Even though the 1983 D Washington quarter is relatively common, the beauty of coin collecting lies in the details. A coin that seems ordinary at first glance might be hiding something extraordinary, and the joy of discovering that rare gem is what makes this hobby so exciting. Remember, the condition of the coin plays a massive role in its value. A well-preserved coin with a minor minting flaw can be far more valuable than one that's seen years of wear and tear. So, it's important to treat your collection with care. Keep your coins in good condition, store them properly, and inspect them regularly to see if any of them might have those elusive minting errors that could make them worth a lot more than you expected. And that's the 1983 Washington quarter with the D Mint mark in good condition. It's an interesting piece, and though it may not always command huge sums, its potential for rare minting errors makes it a must-know coin for any collector. Whether you're just starting out or you're a seasoned numismatist, this quarter is one that can catch your eye if you know what to look for. As always, the key is paying attention to the details, doing your research, and getting your coins graded if you think you found something special. Next up, the 1991 Washington quarter with the P Mint mark in fine condition. While this might seem like a fairly recent coin, there's a lot more to it than meets the eye. Let's break down the details and see why this quarter deserves a closer look. The Washington quarter was first introduced in 1932, celebrating George Washington's 200th birthday. Designed by John Flanagan, the coin has seen a variety of design changes over the years. The 1991 Washington quarter belongs to the standard series that ran from 1932 until the introduction of state-themed reverses in 1999. So, this particular quarter is one of the last to carry the traditional design. Now, let's talk about the P Mint mark. The Philadelphia Mint, where this coin was struck, is a key facility in the U.S. Mint system, producing not only circulation coins but also gold, silver, and platinum bullion. For the 1991 quarter, around 1.5 billion were minted across various facilities, with a significant portion produced in Denver. But don't let the high mintage fool you, value isn't just about rarity. So, what does fine condition mean for this coin? A fine coin has seen some wear, but the design is still visible. On this 1991 quarter, you'll notice Washington's likeness is still distinguishable, though details like his hair and clothing might be a bit worn. On the reverse, the eagle still appears, though some wear is visible. This is a coin that's seen circulation, but it's not too far gone. When it comes to value, the 1991 Washington quarter in fine condition is not exactly a rare find. It's common in the marketplace and doesn't command a high premium. However, its historical value is undeniable. The coin is an important part of the Washington quarter series, and for collectors focused on completing that series, this coin is a must-have. But here's where things get interesting. Sometimes, certain minting errors or anomalies can make a seemingly standard coin much more valuable. Coins from the late 80s and early 90s have been known to feature off-center strikes, double dies, or clipped planchets. While these errors are rare, they can make a significant difference in the coin's value. For example, coins with off-center strikes or die cracks can fetch higher prices depending on how severe and rare the error is. So, what does this mean for the 1991 Washington quarter in fine condition? While it's not a huge moneymaker under normal circumstances, the value can still be significant. The 1991 Washington quarter in fine condition can be valued at around $110,000 in today's market, depending on its unique characteristics. It's not an everyday occurrence, but for the right coin, significant value can be unlocked. While this specific 1991 Washington quarter may not be rare by itself, it's still valuable to collectors, especially those building a comprehensive Washington quarter series. The year 1991 was also a notable time in American history, marking the end of the Cold War and the rise of personal computing and the Internet. For numismatists, it's a coin that carries a piece of history from a transformative period in the U.S. To sum up, the 1991 Washington quarter with the P Mint mark in fine condition may not always be worth a great deal, but it still has historical significance and is an essential part of the Washington quarter series. And with a potential value of $110,000 for the right coin, it's proof that even seemingly common coins can have unexpected worth. When evaluating coins like this, always pay attention to the mint mark, the condition, and any unusual features. Fine condition coins are a great entry point, but for those looking to expand into more valuable pieces, keep an eye out for rarer varieties or minting mistakes. Thanks for joining us at Coins Action. If you found this information helpful, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Stay tuned for more in-depth explorations of rare and valuable coins. The 1981 Washington quarter dollar with the D Mint mark. At first glance, it may seem like just another coin from the early 80s, but when you take a closer look, you'll see that this quarter has become quite valuable in today's market. Before we get into its current value, let's cover some basics. The Washington quarter was first minted in 1932 and has become one of the most iconic coins in U.S. history. By the time 1981 rolled around, the coin's design was mostly unchanged, but there were some important differences that make this particular coin worth exploring. In 1981, the D Mint mark was used, signifying that the coin was produced at the Denver Mint. This year marked a key point in the history of the quarter, making the D Mint marked version a bit rarer than its counterparts from other years. Let's take a closer look at the design. On the obverse side, we have the classic profile of George Washington. This portrait has been used since 1932, but the sharpness of the details on a coin in fine condition really stands out. Washington's profile appears regal, with each line and curve reflecting the dignity of one of the nation's most important figures. On the reverse side, we see the eagle perched proudly on a branch, holding a shield. The words United States of America and E Pluribus Unum are boldly displayed. The design itself represents the nation's strength and unity, and it's an emblem that has remained timeless for nearly a century. But what makes the 1981 Washington quarter with AD mint mark particularly special is that these coins were minted with slightly different techniques, making them a sought-after item for collectors today. Now, when it comes to the 1981 Washington quarter, most of the coins you'll come across today are in circulation condition. This means they've been in daily use for years and have likely seen some wear and tear. These coins are still interesting, but they don't carry much value unless they're in near-perfect condition. But here's the exciting part, 1981 Washington quarters with AD mint mark in fine condition are much rarer than you might think. Fine condition means the coin has experienced some wear, but the important details, like Washington's profile and the eagle on the reverse, are still very much visible. The sharpness of the design is what makes these coins stand out. As time goes on, the number of these coins in fine condition continues to dwindle. They were circulated for years, and many were lost, damaged, or just spent. That makes the 1981 Washington quarter with AD mint mark in fine condition a true collector's find. So, what makes this coin so valuable? It all comes down to rarity and demand. Since many of these coins were circulated heavily, those that are still in fine condition are increasingly rare, and collectors are willing to pay a premium for them. In fact, 1981 Washington quarters with AD mint mark in fine condition have been known to fetch as much as $80,000 or more on the market. That's right, up to $80,000 for a single coin, depending on its grade and overall demand at the time. Of course, not every coin will fetch that price, but coins in great condition, especially those without heavy scratches, discoloration, or other forms of damage, are in high demand. The 1981 Washington quarter with AD mint mark has become one of the hidden gems in the world of coin collecting, and its value is expected to keep rising as more collectors discover just how rare these coins are. Collectors are constantly on the lookout for rare and unique coins, and the 1981 Washington quarter with AD mint mark fits the bill. It's not as famous as some of the other rare coins out there, but it's definitely gained a strong following over the years. Coin dealers are also keeping a close eye on these coins. Many specialize in finding specific mint marks or years, like this one, and they know that a fine condition 1981 mint marked quarter is a valuable addition to any collection. If you're just getting into coin collecting, or if you've been at it for a while, this coin is definitely worth keeping an eye on. Its value will only continue to rise as it becomes harder and harder to find in good condition. So, what do you think? Have you come across any 1981 Washington quarters with AD mint mark in fine condition? Maybe you have one in your collection or even in your pocket right now. It might not be as famous as some of the other coins out there, but the 1981 Washington quarter with the D mint mark is a hidden gem, and its value continues to climb. With some examples fetching up to $80,000, it's a coin that's definitely worth paying attention to. Thanks for tuning in today. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more coin content. If you're out there hunting for rare coins, who knows, your next find could be worth a small fortune.